All right, good morning, everyone. All right, I hope you have a good weekend. All right, so let's start the lesson for today. Today's is actually your lesson 12. Okay, so before I actually start your lesson itself, I'd like to actually share with you there's a second portion of your test. Okay, let me go into the detail. All right, the quiz 2. Okay, there's a upcoming quiz 2. Okay, which is on the 35% of your total overall. This is only for the postgrad and higher diploma. All right, this will make up plus the previous is 25%. So this upcoming is 35%, which will be on the coming Wednesday. So it will be an open book. All right, and this time round, okay, the quiz itself, you will take it, okay, at your own pace. All right, this is a 24 hours quiz. All right, so it started from the coming Wednesday, 12 p.m. noon, to the next day, which is 1st July, 12 p.m. noon. All right, so I will give you the link, okay, after our Wednesday lesson. All right, so this is where you have the 24 hours, okay, time frame for you to work on it. All right, so the topic tested will be based on the chapter 1 to chapter 12. All right, the quiz format itself will be fill in the blanks as well as short answers. All right, so I will provide you the link, all right, or after our Wednesday lesson. All right, so do take note. All right, this is an open book exam, okay, and you have sufficient time in terms of the hours were given to you, 24 hours. So if you are caught, okay, cheating to copy your classmate answers, okay, then you fail this 35% on module overall marks. All right, so ensure that, okay, you do not actually have the same answers. Okay, use your own words, okay, to actually submit for your answers, okay, to the questions itself. Okay, do not actually copy, okay, from your friends classmates answer. Okay, so this is as a, okay, instructions to you. Okay, all right. Okay, now let's start our lessons for today. I'll go through again later. Maybe some of you are not around, so later I'll go through this again. All right. Okay, for today's lesson 12, okay, we are talking about the managing distributions. So actually, for learning outcomes, the first is to explain the distribution channels, okay, the value delivery functions. The second is to talk on in terms of the design of the distribution channels. The third will be in terms of how to actually coordinate the different channels itself. And lastly, okay, the type of channels that the companies actually would choose. All right. Let's look at the first one. Okay, there's a quote by William Randolph. All right, if you make a product good enough, even though you live in the depth of the forest, okay, the public will make a path to your door. But if you want the public in sufficient numbers, you would better actually construct a highway. So in a way, okay, when you actually as a company itself, your products and services actually are known to the world itself. All right. So this is where you need to actually build your communication channels, okay, as well as the distribution channels for the customers to actually access to your products and services offering. All right. So managing distribution entails designing and managing the process of delivering a company offerings to the target customers. So in a way, okay, in terms of distribution channels itself, okay, the company has to actually design, okay, the right fit in terms of the choosing the right channels, okay, in terms of choosing the correct marketing message itself, okay, to manage the whole process to, okay, of your offerings itself to, okay, sell, okay, to your target customers itself. So as a distribution as a value creation process itself, so basically we look at distribution, which entails the company working with a groups of distribution partners such as retailers, wholesalers, dealers, distributors, okay, to deliver a company products to the target customers. So in terms of traditional retailers itself, okay, for example, Target, franchise, 7-Eleven, and online retailers are among the retailers distribution channels such as Amazon. So in a way, we can see that the current kind of actually business models, okay, is more towards the e-commerce platform. So you can have Amazon, okay, you can have in China the Taobao, okay. So in Singapore, okay, you have the Shopee, you have the Lazada, okay, Zalora as well, okay, and QOO and all that. All right. So this is where, okay, you actually works with different retailers, the wholesalers as well as dealers and distributors, okay, to actually deliver, okay, your products and services to the target customers within the segments that actually you want to reach out to, okay, as well as this is of importance because you can't have all, okay, retail outlets in each of the every country. So sometimes actually it is more cost efficient and more cost effective, okay, to tap into your strategic partners to sell your products on your behalf. All right. So in terms of distribution wise, it defines the way, okay, in which a company delivers its offerings to the target customers. So distributions, it aims to actually create the optimal value proposition for the target customers to the company and its collaborators itself. All right. So when designing distribution channels itself, a manager's ultimate goal is to create value for the target customers in a way that actually benefits the company. So as a whole, okay, distribution actually defines the way and how the products and services will reach, okay, from the company, okay, to its direct customers or via the platform of the collaborators, which is your partners and strategic partners itself, to the target customers, and how they actually leverage in terms of different distribution channels, okay, which the managers has to consider, okay, in order to serve the customers better, okay, in terms of cost efficiency, in terms of, okay, the effectiveness of what are the platforms, okay, that we need to leverage on to actually to reach out to the target customers itself. So you can see that, okay, based on this diagram itself, the previous chapters we actually talk about in terms of the company values and how actually it actually provides in terms of the trademarks, in terms of logo, in terms of the brand association itself to the customer value, their belief, okay, as well as their needs and requirements, as well as how the collaborators itself actually depends on the company value, their product and services, okay, as well as what kind of target customer segment they are looking at. So to attract, okay, the strategic partners to actually want to carry your product, okay, to serve, okay, the specific target market. So in a way, the three, okay, works hand in hand, okay, to create the optimal value proposition, which consists of the 7 parts of the market offerings itself. So today we are looking at in terms of the last market offering, which is under the distribution. So the design of the distribution channels, okay, depends on the choice of target customers and the goals and resources of the company. Mass market offerings are more likely to involve multiple distributors across the different geographic markets. Customers in certain locations may favor smaller individually operated retail outlets to consolidate, okay, superstores change. So in a way, we can see that in terms of the distribution channels itself, okay, it's mainly which platforms, okay, you choose, okay, so that you can actually reach out to your target customers, because nowadays, especially for the millennials as well as the Generation Z itself, they are using more of the social media, okay, so you know that the Facebook and IG, okay, as well as Twitter are part of their lifestyle. So this is where you need to actually craft your, okay, marketing message, okay, towards these people, as well as you actually, the company will employ, okay, the key influencers, okay, on such social medias to actually reach out to these people. So in a way, okay, companies that also has actually the regional office itself because of the different geolocations itself, okay. So in order to be more cost efficient, okay, the company will leverage on the different channels as well as its distributors, okay, and vendors itself or retailers to actually reach out, okay, to certain customer which are actually on the far off, okay, regions, okay, which is from the headquarters itself. This is where the strategic partners, okay, plays an important role, okay, to let the market, okay, knows that actually there's this product and service offering to the customers itself. So in terms of distribution, that it must be aligned with the product, service, brand, price, incentive, communications. So distribution must be consistent with the brand offering brands, okay, such as lifestyles, like Ralph Lauren, okay, Lacoste, and also Cartier, okay, benefits from using channels that enable them to actually exercise greater control. So in a way, when the companies, okay, need to actually select, okay, the kind of distribution channels itself, okay, it must be actually aligned, okay, to the products and services in terms of the branding, in terms of price, okay, what kind of promotions as well as the communications message that is to the target customers itself. For example, if let's say you are carrying products, let's say equivalent to LV, all right, so you can't actually sell in those more like the low-end kind of e-commerce platform, okay, which in Singapore, we have the QO, Q10, we have the Shopee wise, because these are actually in terms of the low-end market, okay, so it will actually dilute your brand. So company has to choose, okay, the right distribution channels, okay, for their products and services, all right. So for the first case subtopic, okay, we are looking at the distribution channels value delivery functions. So in terms of delivery functions itself of distribution channels, the primary functions of distribution channels is to deliver the company offerings to its target customers. This involves delivering the product, service, brands, price, incentive. Okay, the different aspects of delivering the offerings are illustrated, okay, and outlined in the figure 2. So we can see that. So we have actually gone through in the previous chapters in terms of design the offerings itself based on the value drivers, okay, of product, service, brand, price, incentive itself. Then it comes to communication, which is actually drafting of the message itself, okay, to create awareness, okay, of your product and services in the different markets itself, as well as to those non-existing customers itself about your products and services offering. So now it's actually how the company actually deliver, okay, all this main 5 factors, okay, product, service, brand, price, incentive to the target customers itself. So in terms of the, okay, availability of your products, okay, through your distributors, through your retailers, in different regions of the world, all right. So this is all together, they will integrate into in terms of creating customer value, okay, for the target customer segment itself to want to actually buy your products itself, all right. So under this section itself, okay, in terms of the value delivery functions itself, we are looking at, okay, the delivery products, which entails transferring physical possession, okay, and ownership rights from the manufacturer to the intermediaries, such as the wholesaler, distributors, dealers, retailers, and finally to the end users itself. So from the company A itself, you have your own, okay, the manufacturer, okay, sometimes you have your own factories itself, or actually you outsource, okay, the production to a third party factory, all right. Then after the product has been manufactured itself, okay, so you have sales agreement, okay, distribution channels agreement, where the wholesalers or distributors will carry your products, okay, for the certain markets itself. Thereby, okay, then the distributors will have their own dealers, okay, within the different geo locations in the country itself, and the dealers will actually also might have their own, okay, retailer shops, or they have their strategic partners that they work with, and these products are finally being, okay, delivered on the retailers stores, right, and the target customers actually can buy from the outlets itself, all right. In terms of delivery service itself, which involve in terms of customer focus activities such as customization, repair, technical assistance, and warranty support, as well as collaborators focus activities such as storage, inventory, sorting, repackaging. So in a way, when the products, okay, are being that's actually identified for certain target customers itself. So sometimes the products, okay, may actually require customization, such as Dell, okay, the laptop itself. So you can actually, customers can go to Dell's website to actually customize in terms of the configuration of laptops, if in terms of the hard disk storage space, in terms of the screen size that they want, okay, as well as the specifications in terms of the CPU requirements or even GPU, okay, with more for the gaming laptops itself. This is where the customers will directly, okay, interact with the manufacturers itself, okay, in terms of the system configuration that they want, okay. So after that, they will actually deliver the products, okay, to the customers itself, okay, via dedicated kind of their for example, DHL or even FedEx, okay, to the users, okay, customers' home. And after that, okay, there needs the technical support as well as warranty support, okay, for the products itself. This is where the delivery service kicks in terms of where, okay, the storage, for example, because in the if these products were to manufacture in Vietnam itself, right? So you need to have a storage space before you collate all the different customers ordering, okay, let's say from Singapore, okay, you need to collate a certain amount and fix the delivery date as well as the shipment or even the flight with the airlines itself. This is where the backend, okay, support in terms of inventory management, in terms of sorting, packaging, and all that before the shipments itself. All right. So in terms of delivery brands, okay, which give the customers the opportunity to interact with the brands itself, retailer stores such as Disney, Sony, Harley Davidson serve the channels for delivering these brands to the customers. So in a way, when certain products in terms of actually the brands itself, so there is actually some of the display booth, okay, where customers can actually has the opportunity, okay, to have a closer look in terms of the product itself. One very common, okay, practice we can see that in terms of iPhone itself. So in Singapore, iPhone, they have one outlet in Orchard area. The other one actually the newly opened, okay, was in the beginning of this year, was the Apple stores, okay, at the Marina Bay Sands itself. So that's where the customers will actually has the opportunity to get close, okay, to new products, okay, to actually see, okay, in terms of the product, in terms of the touch and feel, okay, in terms of the usability, in terms of the whether the products are user friendliness, in terms of their settings and all that. This is where you actually deliver in terms of the branding associations with the customers by having them, okay, to walk into your stores to actually try out your products itself. All right. So in terms of the delivery price itself, so which actually entails the collections and processing payment from the customers itself, unlike other marketing tactics in which the items flow from the company to the customers, the flow of the price is reversed. All right, customers' payments are collected and delivered to the company. So in a way, we can see that with the delivery of price, the current context of the market itself, a lot of things has been using in terms of the e-payments itself. So in Singapore itself, we actually has the various forms of the payments and platforms. Okay, we have the eNets, okay, which is by the Singapore, okay, the next electronics transaction, okay. Then as well as you have the credit cards, you have the debit cards, okay, as well as you have the PayLah, PayNow. All this is the different ways, okay, which the customers can pay for their products and services, as well as between two, okay, business organizations as well. All right. So in terms of customer focused activities, we are looking at in terms of customization, repair, technical assistance, warranty, as well as the collaborators that focus on activities such as storage, inventory, sorting, and repackaging. So in a way, customer focus is actually because when the products actually ordered by the customers itself, it actually needs to be delivered, okay, to a far off region. That is where you can see that in terms of the current COVID situations, some airlines has reconfigured in terms of their aircraft, okay, in order for them to cater for the delivery of the COVID vaccinations, okay, to certain countries. This is where in terms of customization, because you need to have the chiller, okay, the fridge, okay, which is able to actually hold the quantity of the vaccines, okay, within a certain temperature, okay, which has to be consistent, or else actually the vaccines, okay, you have due to the actually high temperature, okay, it will the heat itself, okay, during the transport of within the aircraft itself, okay, all this will actually spoil, okay, the vaccines itself, and it actually really costs a lot of actually money, okay, for the transport of such vaccines, okay, because you have to constantly monitor in terms of the temperature, in terms of heat generated externally, and how during the transfer process it has to be within 2 hours, okay, from the time that you open, okay, in terms of your the storage container itself to transfer to the lab itself. All right, all these factors has to actually be carefully, okay, customized in order actually to ensure that the vaccines transport from place to place, okay, does not cause any damages to the vaccines, and is still able to deliver, okay, to the end customers itself, and it still can actually serve the all the different citizens, okay, of the countries to take the vaccines itself. All right, so in terms of delivery incentive wise, we're actually looking at in terms of the customers, coupons, the rebates, the premiums, as well as premiums, okay, the free products or trial products, okay, which give up to the potential customers itself or existing customers, as well as implementing and processing this incentive, example, implementing a temporary price reductions and redeems, okay, coupons. So this delivery incentive is often, okay, you can see in terms of promotion, okay, certain periods where the companies will understand in terms of the countries they have a shopping or kind of actually seasons, okay. In the Europe itself, in the US itself, people actually focus more on the Christmas, okay. In the Eastern country, we focus more on the festive seasons, okay, which the current the May, okay, the May month in the Chinese calendar itself is actually the rice dumpling, okay, which just passed on the May 15th. That was the rice dumplings itself in Chinese calendar. So that's why you can see a lot of hotels or the retailers shops or even those bakery shops, they actually have the different variety of the rice dumpling that is sold at their outlets itself. All right, so the next upcoming for Chinese festive will be the Mooncake Festival. All right, so that's you can see the hotels and all this, they will actually entice customers to use their brand, okay, as a competitive advantage to say that, okay, because they are from 5-star hotels, so in terms of the quality of food that the customers will get is of premium. All right, so in terms of the distribution channels, often participates in designing and communicating the offerings they deliver. So value design functions of distribution channels can involve product assembly, financing, and warranty services, enhance the offering brand, negotiating the sales price, and managing the point of sales, okay, incentive. Distribution channels can manage the reverse logistics by processing returns and refund. So in a way, we can see that distribution channels often, okay, together with the company itself as a strategic partners itself, they actually help to design, okay, in the way how the message in terms of communication are actually getting out to the target customers itself. So in a way, we can see that IKEA, for example, okay, so they have the besides after they sell the services to the target consumers itself, then they have the actually post service which they can go to your house. Okay, for example, you buy a bed or buy a actually study table. Okay, that's where they provide the post service support to actually help you to do the installation. All right, then as well as for example, let's say there's a clause, okay, for IKEA says that within 7 days, if they are not happy with any products, okay, no reason asked, they will get a full refund. Okay, this is where it's the distribution channels plays a major important role because IKEA are actually based in Sweden itself. So in Asia itself, they has a lot of actually markets. Okay, so especially for the bigger markets such as China, in Singapore, they have started their third outlet. Okay, which is in GEMS Jurong itself. Okay, it used to be only 2. Okay, which is in Tampines as well as you said, Alexandra. So now they have the third in Jurong itself. So they see the potential of the customers buying the products. Okay, because IKEA products is more like the DIY. Okay, so compared in terms of pricing, in terms of service, in terms of quality of products that they get that suits most of the people, the mass market, because of affordability of the pricing itself, and this entice more customers actually to come on board, okay, to buy the products. All right. Okay, now we look at the first video.
Are distribution channels. Distribution channels are the means by which businesses get products to their consumers. Distribution involves links in a chain of distribution as products are sold between different businesses en route to the final consumer. There are three main types of distribution channel. 1. Direct to the consumer. 2. To the consumer via retailers. 3. To the consumer via wholesalers and retailers. Let me say a little about each of these. Firstly, direct. Niche products with relatively low volume sales are often sold direct. Direct sales could be made online, through mail order, or through shops owned by the manufacturer. Businesses selling direct do not rely on shops or other intermediaries to sell their product. Well-known examples of businesses that sell direct to the consumer are Direct Line, Insurance, and Dell, Computers. Distribution via retailers. Large retailers often purchase goods from manufacturers and sell on to consumers. This method of distribution is sometimes called modern distribution. Products reach consumers via one intermediary. Large retailers have enough buying power to negotiate bulk discount prices with producers. The producer benefits by being able to concentrate primarily on making the product without needing complicated distribution systems to supply thousands or millions of customers. Producers just distribute to a much smaller number of retailers. Distribution via wholesalers and retailers. This type of distribution channel involves at least two intermediaries, wholesalers and retailers. This is sometimes called traditional distribution. Wholesalers are businesses that purchase in considerable bulk from producers and then sell smaller batches to many different retail businesses. For instance, independently owned convenience grocery stores and pet shops usually buy their stock from wholesalers. Using wholesalers is an effective way for manufacturers to get products stocked in small retail businesses without having the transport costs involved in making small deliveries to each of them. What factors will influence which method of distribution is chosen? Decisions are influenced by the cost of distribution, the nature of the market, and the extent to which the producer wishes to control how products are marketed. As already mentioned, an advantage to producers of using wholesalers and larger retailers is that far fewer deliveries need to be made than would be needed if the delivery was straight to the consumer. This reduces the cost of distribution. On the other hand, each intermediary involved in the chain of distribution seeks to make a profit. The purchase price that retailers and wholesalers pay is inevitably less than the price that producers might charge if they were selling direct to the consumer. If customers are prepared to come to a factory shop or some other outlet controlled by the producer, then direct selling might look attractive. A classic example of this is the pick-your-own-fruit farm. High-volume mass-market products have to be sold often to a very large number of customers. There's no such thing as a local toothpaste manufacturer, for instance. The market for this sort of goods is national or possibly international. For that reason, it usually makes sense to distribute mass-market products through retailers. On the other hand, if a market has a smaller number of customers, direct distribution becomes more feasible. Producers of industrial goods like aeroplanes or industrial robots may seriously consider direct distribution because they have a small number of customers. Getting these products to the consumer is in some ways far less complex than delivering consumer goods to millions of people. Whenever a producer uses an intermediary to sell its products, it's handing a degree of control over promotion and price to the intermediary. This may be to the advantage of the producer. Being stocked in an established national retail chain can mean that the product is well promoted. On the other hand, the way that an intermediary, like a retailer, markets a product may not suit the producer. For some producers, only direct distribution provides them with the control over marketing that they seek. So, to sum up, distribution channels are the means by which businesses get products to their consumers. There are three main types of distribution channel: direct, via retailers, via wholesalers and retailers. Decisions made about how a product is distributed are influenced by the cost of distribution, the nature of the market, and the extent to which the producer wishes to control marketing. You might like to try this activity. Suggest, with reasons, the best way to distribute the following products: A. Double-decker buses, B. Washing powder, C. Herbal remedies for dogs. To find out more, visit learnloads.com.
Grammarly does more than catch.
All right, so the first portion, all right, for the first subsection for today, we talked about in terms of the various distribution channels, okay, in terms of how the products are going to be delivered, okay, to the end customer itself, using in terms of the wholesalers, distributors, dealers, or retailers itself. Second is how the service is actually going to be delivered, okay, in terms of what service, okay, that the companies, okay, need to engage, okay, in order, okay, to get the products, okay, packaging, in terms of the customizations, in terms of how they manage, in terms of the warehousing, all this, the storage space itself, before the delivery itself, as well as after the delivery itself. So in terms of the delivering branding itself, so as we mentioned, okay, most of the customers will actually, once you actually walk into the display, okay, retail outlet stores, okay, such as iPhones itself, to actually has the opportunities, okay, to hands-on in terms of the products itself, in terms of the look and feel, okay, in terms of understanding whether is it the features itself, is it user friendliness, in terms of the phone settings itself, okay, and what functionality that they have. So in terms of price, deliveries itself, okay, usually we talk about in terms of how the customers will make payment in terms of using the various platforms of in terms of Singapore-wise, we have the PayLah, the PayNow, as well as the credit card or debit card systems. All right. So in terms of the customer-focused activities, which actually is providing the in terms of the pre-support as well as post-support scheduling when the customers actually is ordering the products from the company itself. So the last one would be in terms of what kind of actually promotions that the company would wish to actually engage in terms of maybe trade shows, all right, in terms of actually the road shows as well, okay, where they can actually have certain promotions, okay, in order to actually boost the customer sales itself, all right, or in terms of they can actually sell the bundle, okay, products, okay, for example, if they book certain air tickets, okay, with an airline itself, okay, then they can have a certain discount in terms of hotel stays itself. Okay, this is where they do the incentive. All right. So now we look at the topic 2. All right. So describe the design of the distribution channels itself. So retail trends are the consolidation of fragments retail outlets into powerful retail chains and superstores. Online retailers have gained ground on the traditional brick and mortar stores, such as in many markets. Online shopping has become the norm rather than the exceptions. The consolidation and specializations of retailers and increasing importance of the online retail formats calls for effective distribution strategies. So in a way, we can see that from the traditional kind of actually retail stores, a lot of things has been moved online, okay, because of the digitalization itself, and also the smart, okay, future technologies, which a lot of the countries, okay, is going after because of the trends, and as well as the 5G technology. They see a lot of business opportunity, as well as the consumers themselves. They can set up stores, okay, selling e-commerce products, okay, to their specific target customers as well. So you can see that on a day-to-day basis in Singapore, a lot that the government as well comes up with a lot of initiative, okay, to encourage retailer stores, okay, be it from the F&B services in terms of hawker wise, okay. They also have the different vendors such as the Grab, Food Panda, and all that, okay, to deliver the hawker food or the coffee shop food to the target customers itself. So this is where, in terms of the market trends, that if the company itself do not actually follow the market trends itself, then they will become obsolete because their products actually can't reach out, okay, to the mass market itself. So it's in terms of their profit revenue, right, it will be very restricted. So several key decisions must be made when designing and managing distribution channels, including channel structures, channel coordinations, channel type, channel coverage, as well as channel's exclusivity. All right, so in terms of when the companies actually make decisions in terms of how do they actually design the various distribution channels, as well as how do they actually manage, okay, in terms of their product offering using the different channels. We are looking in terms of the channel structures, the channel coordination, channel type, channel coverage, and channel exclusivity. Okay, let's look at it first. The channel structures itself, the members of the distribution channels, as well as the flow of the goods and services from the manufacturers to the customers itself, are defined by the channel structure. So the channels can be direct, indirect, or hybrid depending on their structures. So in a way, we can see from the diagram itself, okay, the flow of actually the company goods and services itself can be through direct channels. That means there's like company to customers. We can have the Dell concept, all right. Then you have the company through the retailer, which is the iPhone concept, okay, either from their own, okay, or they have exclusive retailers stores to get their products out to the customers itself. Then you have the wholesale, the retailer, as well as the customers itself. This is where the wholesales in terms of strategic partners itself, because they have in terms of logistic arrangement, they have actually a lot of actually retail stores which actually under them, or they have actually their own exclusive sort of actually partnership with the retail stores in certain country, which your company, okay, has not has any agreement or has any regional office in that country itself. This is where you tap on the indirect channels itself. All right, so as a whole, the two can add together, direct or indirect, it becomes a hybrid channels itself. Okay, the first one would be in terms of the direct channels itself. So direct channels are distribution model in which the manufacturers and the end customers interact directly with one another, okay, without the use of middlemen, all right, intermediaries. So in a way, we can see from the diagram, it's very clear cut. So from the company direct itself to the customers itself, okay, this is where such as, for example, Starbucks, all right, they have their direct, okay, they sell their products to direct customers by having, okay, different outlets in different regions of the world. All right, so in terms of the benefits, all right, numerous benefits, okay, is the direct distribution models can have also a number of drawbacks, okay, which is on the disadvantage. Okay, firstly, it takes time, okay, to establish a direct distribution channel, particularly a brick and mortar, okay, one. So in a way, we can see that to have your direct kind of actually retail outlet stores, okay, needs time, because you need manpower to employ manpower, okay, staff, okay, to man the stove. You need to actually identify, okay, to do market research, okay, where to set up store, which location, the rental, the utility cost, all this you need time to actually find the best, okay, strategic location. That's why you can see that in terms of McDonald's, in terms of Starbucks, they don't open, okay, simply in any shopping malls itself. The shopping malls, the outlets that they actually open, it has to serve, okay, at least a few venues within, okay, a certain kilometers of the radius